I want to talk about a few couples from this last episode of Love After Lockup. First, starting off with Damodrick and Quiana. They were sitting there and they decided to go out on a date, and they decided to go learn how to frost and make cakes and pretty much decorate them, which I think that's such a cute date idea. But it looked like they had a great time. And at the end, they decided to go outside and show each other's cakes to each other. And Damodrick had to go off to the side real quick, and he got the engagement ring that his father gave to him, and he sat there and put it on top of the cake and went outside. And when he showed Quiana his cake, he said, "Look, this is my daddy's, mama's ring, and this has been passed on from generation to generation, and I want you to have it." How he made it seem like is he was doing a proposal. Like, the man didn't get on one knee, but he was kind of kneeling over already the way he was holding the cake. And Quiana took it as a proposal. She sat there and was trying to fight back tears. She's like, oh my God, oh my God. And I mean, I'm pretty sure when the daddy gave Damodrick the ring, he was giving it to him on the basis that this is going to be an engagement ring, not a promise ring. When I first watched it, I thought he was proposing to her, and I think that's how Quiana took it too. But then I saw numerous people calling him out for giving his dad's mother's ring as a promise ring and making Quiana believe that it was a proposal when it wasn't. And then I watched it again and I realized that he was being very careful with how he was wording things. He's like, I'm promising you that I'm going to be with you forever. And I still think even then Quiana was like, okay, this is like what he's saying after he proposed to me. But I think this is him trying to be like, no, don't get no ideas like we're about to get married. I'm just promising you this. But I just don't understand why give the family heirloom ring to a woman if you don't even know if you want to marry her yet. To me, it's just giving that this is a hush ring, and she's not happy with you right now, and you think a ring's just gonna make her shut up and cure everything, even though you still don't even know if you want to be faithful to one woman. You still got your baby mama you're talking to behind Quiana's back, and you don't even know if you want to be a kept man at this point. And I feel like Quiana is going to go home and tell all her friends and family, oh, look, he proposed to me today. I feel like she's going to find out when she least expects it. Like, she'll probably be trying to call him her fiance or start trying to talk about the wedding. And then he's going to be like, babe, hold up. We're not even there yet. And I think she's just as confused as we all are. And I don't think she would have got all teary-eyed and as emotional as she did if she thought it was just a promise ring. However, from what the baby mama was saying in that live, in that video I covered, she was claiming that he slept with her since he's been out of prison. So obviously, like I said, he was not ready to be a kept man when he did all that. I think he just did all that for show or just to be manipulative. Now let's talk about Joey and Michael. So I was thinking that Michael may have relapsed when he walked in to the hotel and told Joey, hey, I just went and took a UA and I failed. But the way they abruptly ended the episode, I'm like, okay, I've seen this before, and I have a feeling maybe they're just trying to make it look like something it isn't. And that's exactly what happened. This week, we learned that it cut off mid-sentence, and then right after that, he was like, no, just kidding. So he did take a UA, and he actually passed it. And it's like one of Michael's proudest moments in his life because he's never had a clean UA. And I remember my first UA, too. It is a pretty proud moment. He had to take pictures of it and everything. Then Joey was like, okay, well, I need you to jump in the car because we need to go ahead and see my family. So Michael is going to be meeting Joey's family for the very first time, and Michael is really intimidated. You can still tell drugs are heavy on his mind because even when he's sitting there talking to Joey, you can tell that his mind is just elsewhere and he's constantly thinking about something else and not really there in the moment as much as he should be. So they go over to see Joey's family. Joey and Michael sit down after showing up at Joey's family's house, and Joey's family didn't waste any time asking and grilling Michael about his plans and pretty much just trying to see where his head was at when it came to his sobriety, and they want to make sure that he's taking things seriously. But all his questions were giving anything but serious. He was answering every question like the completely wrong way. They're like, okay, do you think you're done? And he's pretty much like, you know, it's hard to stay sober your whole life. That's a lot. And I have friends in my life that use, but I'm not going to cut them off because they're like family to me. I wouldn't have anyone if I just cut them all off. But that's how you can tell that Michael's not taking things that serious, because as long as you're going to keep hanging out with the same at the same playground with the same playmates, you're gonna keep having the same exact results. Like, I can understand if you don't have anybody in your life, like maybe checking up on them on Facebook like every 6 months or something, saying like, hi, how are you doing? But there's no reason to be hanging out with them, especially if you value your sobriety. To be in a situation where you're around active users, you have to be very mentally strong for that. And Michael is nowhere near that at all. He's literally talking about relapsing and using drugs, and you can tell that's all that's on his mind. So he's not going to be able to handle it. As soon as it's around him, I think he's going to sit there and take the opportunity to use. And Joey was just sitting there cringing at all of Michael's answers, and he couldn't believe what Michael was telling his family. He's like, man, you would think this dude would try to at least lie a little bit and do something to get my family to like him. But all their conversation did was make Joey's family even more concerned. Joey's family laid it on a little too thick, and it went from feeling more like a barbecue and more like an intervention. And I think if anything, it just triggered Michael even more to want to use, because he's not in the headspace to be able to handle things like that at this point. And I get it, they just are trying to look out for Joey, want the best for him, but I feel like they should have tried to get to know Michael a little more outside of like knowing about his time in prison and knowing about drugs, because there should be more to Michael than just that. I mean, it seems like from what we've seen so far, there really isn't. But I feel like they should try to have conversations about other things too, because I would kind of feel some type of way too. Even if I did have a past drug history, if I show up and that's all my significant other family members talk about is drugs and my time in prison the whole time. But that is pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.